Welcome. It is Sunday, November the 24th, 2024. Today I will be headed over to the Rosenberg Railroad Museum. They will be debuting their turkey train. Also, they just recently celebrated their 10-year anniversary for their Garden Railroad. Also, there is a restaurant I've been wanting to try for a very long time. It's a pho restaurant. I know it's spelled P-H-O, and I usually pronounce it pho, but it is pho. So I wanted to try that out. So join me for a turkey train and some pho, if you will. Will you? So, a slight change of plans. The pho restaurant that I wanted to go to that I've never been to before is closed today. I went online to see what their hours were for today, and they are closed on Sundays, unfortunately. So, I still wanted to get my pho fix. So, I'm going to a pho restaurant that I've been to several times. It's really good. It was recommended by a friend of mine, so I'm going to go there instead. So the other place, I'll probably go later this week, maybe the day after Thanksgiving, and try it out. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, actually it's right across the street from the gas station that I go to all the time, 7-Eleven. But yeah, this place is called Pho Huynh, Vietnamese noodle soup. They have some really good pho here. Even though that other place is closed, I still want to get my pho fix on, so let's go. Alright, so I'm going to go with the spring rolls here. And I'll get me a small pho. I guess I'll get the high round steak and probably the shrimp. Alright, got the spring rolls right away. That was really quick. Alright, that was good. Alright, that was delicious. Now for a turkey train. So yeah, that was some good pho. I was looking at all the different stores over here, different places to eat. And this one looks interesting. Donuts in cup. What if I don't want my donut in a cup? Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. There's like a ton of people here. It's like some kind of Boy Scouts group or something, but yeah, a lot of groups here, a lot of kids here. Yeah, I've covered this museum quite a few times, so I'm not gonna go into great detail with it, but I did want to see that turkey train. But it is a cool little museum. I come to it from time to time. A lot of cool stuff here. But yeah, I've done several videos on this museum, so if you want to go back and look at it, I've done more detail. So I probably won't go into great detail with this one since I've been here so many times. So I will probably end up doing the tour since I already paid for it. But the lady said to meet at the Red Caboose at 1:25, and it's currently 1:03. So I have a few minutes to spare. But I did purchase a couple more collector's pins. I'll show that later. But I'm gonna go over by the the garden up front and check out the trains out there. And like I said, I've done this tour many times before, but I'll probably show a little bit of it, but I won't go into great detail with it, but yeah, I'll show a little bit of it. I'm not really sure what they're doing over here with these fences, but it might have something to do with the other trains they're supposed to be bringing in. Now, originally the red caboose was over here. It was right over here in this area. And from what I was told the last time I was here, they're supposed to bring in some more trains and line them up over here and then put this red caboose at the end of it. And I think apparently you'll be able to walk through the entire train. So that'll be interesting to see when they get that set up. I don't know how long that's going to be, but yeah, that's what I was told. Admission required. Got my wristband. It's about $10 for admission, not bad. Yeah, like I mentioned in a previous video, it seems like at the stores they go straight from Halloween decorations to Christmas decorations. They skip over Thanksgiving, it seems like. And even if they do have a Thanksgiving section, it's very small. So I didn't want to do too many Christmas videos before Thanksgiving, and I was trying to think of something that was Thanksgiving related. And I saw the Facebook post that they were having this turkey train debut. So this is Thanksgiving themed related. So here we are. This one has the Wizard of Oz on it. The characters. There's the turkeys. Little Christmas on the back end there.
This thing she said is out here in this garden. They're trying to find that.
So this is 10 years old?
Yes. 10 years was when they drove the Golden Spike to complete the installation of the railroad.
It started in July of 2014.
2014.
And I guess probably in October or September. We used to have Pop Fun festivals in September. So the base was there, but it was just dirt. So none of the roads, none of the track, nothing. It was just the concrete outline and dirt.
Check it out, and you can go see how the men would work. So when you first come in, you're going to see the two big black boxes. Those are the ice boxes where the men would store their food. Now, somebody who used to work on caboose told me that they didn't store it like we would store our food in a cooler. Each individual man probably had their own little igloo cooler that they put inside that cooler. And if you look on the wall right there, right before the cupola, a bar going all the way across the middle of this, so that when they walked, they would walk with the bar because it was constantly moving. So it was like, I'm assuming they probably strapped themselves to this cot too. Built in 1903, and it sat about right where that bridge is. That bridge is fairly new. So it sat right there, right in between the two sets of tracks. And it was responsible for redirecting the trains as they came through with this interlocking system. So the person working in here could see all the trains coming and going from either side of them. And they knew which direction they were going into because they had a schedule. They knew what time they left their start location, how fast they were going, when they were going to reach them, and what direction they were going to. So when the train would cross them, they would come and have to redirect the tracks so they could go. Here they can switch from anywhere all over Texas, and they know where every train in Texas is. They used to run a live stream. But I think something happened and they got paranoid. I don't know whether they're like, maybe not everybody should know where all the trains are in Texas, so they stopped doing that. Yeah, this was shut down in 2004, and Tower 17 was the last of the 215 towers to be shut down. Luckily, they were opening a museum right here, and he just moved it right on over. And this is the last tower that's fully intact with the interlocking system still in it in Texas.
Yeah, I like this downtown Rosenberg area. All these old buildings from back in the day, they still use it for different things. Yeah, they have antique stores and places to eat. The Quebec.
It was built by the Canadian Railroad in 1879, and it was originally a passenger car, so it would hold like 100 people. It's big, it's a big car, but it was kind of like public transportation. Anybody could go in there, and it was made of almost entirely of wood, so the surrounding was all cast in wood. And then in 1920, the Canadian Railroad realized they had enough passenger cars; they wanted something unique. So they took this one out and they rebranded it, and they covered it in steel, what it is now, made it gray color back, and made the inside what it is, which is a high-end business car. Very elite, successful businessmen would travel to Canada and Northern America in this. And they would stay on here. They had their bedrooms, they had dining rooms, they had a butler or a secretary, some sort of help on hand. But they probably didn't have a private cook that stayed on here with them, but they probably went from cart to cart and came in here and cooked for them during meal times.
Ready.
Nice.
So what you did first going into is the parlor, and the parlor is where they would have had business meetings or scotch and cigars in the evening.
Ethan, isn't this
Something like
pretty,
that.
this
Now
furniture?
that couch is like an old-fashioned futon, and it actually folded out into a double bed if there were extra people that overloaded the bedrooms.
Yeah.
When the museum acquired, it's the deteriorated tapestry from 1920, and then they tried to replicate it as best they could. And now the carpet is actually, they were able to, the English company that made the original carpet in 1920 still had the pattern, and they were able to order the original pattern of carpet that was here over 100 years ago. This business class car from 1922 to 1958. It retired in 1958, and a museum in New Mexico bought it, and they had it until 1985. And in 1985, the George Ranch, that many of you might know of, purchased it. Now, the George Ranch has a cattle car that was built in 1873, so it's a little bit older than this one by a few years. And they had it sitting out there by that cattle car for almost 10 years, and that's where it deteriorated, because they didn't have plans of actually like having people tour it or anything like that. And they go back all the way to the early 1800s where they would hand pump them, all the way to this orange yellowish looking one up here that actually runs on gas. So it's one that would be used today. The city was kind of built around it, and they would have stuff like this at some of the crossing stations, old bathhouses, because workers would be like hobos, vagrants, you know, they didn't have a home. They would wander from job to job on the railroad. That's how they lived. And they had nowhere to go back to, so they needed somewhere to wash the clothes. So they would have these bathhouses, and they would have a fire going in there, and they would sell buckets of clean, warm water. So for a couple of cents, you could buy clean, warm water. Now, if they didn't want to buy it, they could go jump in the Brazos with the clay water or whatever that stuff is in there. Now, I'm sure you could jump in it back then. I would not jump in it now.
This little red one right here reminds me of the trolley from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Into the neighborhood of make-believe. Great Scott. Yeah, even though I've been here a few times already, I seem to learn something different or something new on each tour. Alright, and these are the last two collector's pins that I needed to complete my set for the Railroad Museum. I didn't see any others that I needed, so yeah, I believe these are the last two to complete the set. The Quebec and one for the Santa Fe Railroad, so got those complete. Got the very first one, the railroad crossing, the red caboose, the tower, and the main Railroad Museum depot, and the Santa Fe and the Quebec. So yeah, that completes my set. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Well, that's going to do it for my video for today. As always, thank you for watching. Be safe, be kind, and stay caffeinated.